And that was Janeric, coming out from West Palm Beach, Florida. One of the most talented new lyricists that I've heard in quite some time. I mean, we got a little bit of the taste of the Benj last few episodes ago. I think that Janeric here is one of those type of vocalists who can, follow in the footsteps of the Benj and keep going, making your brand and making the music that everybody out there really can, understand the lyrics and relate to. I mean, how about that one from Janeric Nicotine? I mean, how many times have people out there smoked cigarettes or whatever when you had a headache? I mean, that part of the song just always resonates with me. Janeric, check out the link for his stuff in the episode bio. Like always, welcome to a murder of musicians, everybody. This is FX2, your host, and quick little public service announcement. If you can please go to fx2studios.com, sign up there, become a member. We're switching everything over from our original website to this one, so it'd be really appreciated. Thank you. Enough of that bullshit, and let's get back to it. Janeric, what a fucking dope lyricist. I mean, he really does show some versatility in his vocals and a dynamic perspective for capturing the audience's attention, so to speak. I really appreciate when musicians can be so easily identifiable with just basic common life type of situations, not so much problems, but different types of scenarios where you're going to be in life, you're going to be doing what you're doing, and sometimes music can help you really understand a little bit better, because you're feeling on a different level, from a different sense, not the sense of taste or sight or touch, but the auditory sense, through your ears. You're listening, and it's having an effect on your brain. And that definitely is something that I myself would like to start delving a little bit deeper into in a few bonus episodes. So also look forward to some new type of material popping up probably once a month or something like that, unless it catches some fire and people are down with the idea of really starting to integrate a form of what I like to refer to as this all green holistic type of musical medication, so to speak, where you are arranging waveforms and choosing correct frequencies mixed with the correct colored noise, and then you can produce effects inside the brain that could mimic some types of medication. And there is an ample amount of scientific empirical evidence out there that has justification principles there that will spell out exactly what has been done in the past, but there's still so much more that needs to be done, because we all know how music makes us feel, right? You feel good. If you're depressed, you put on some emo bullshit and you listen to that, Last week we had Sounds of Fury, a metal band. How cool is it to incorporate that into your life? Like, even if you listen to hip-hop, right, or electronic, or you're an indie band, sometimes metal just really, builds up your adrenaline to the point where you need to really either work out or get high and just kind of relax a little bit and enjoy the sounds. I think Sounds of Fury last week they were wonderful. Great guests. And in speaking of having guests, we're trying to incorporate more of a backstory here. So for Janeric, our artist today, I was able to procure a little bit of a backstage peek into the young man's lifestyle by kind of forcing him almost to answer some questions via his girlfriend, and we're going to listen to that in a moment. So I hope you enjoy a little bit of the backstory of the artist who we heard in the beginning of this episode, Janeric. Remember to check out his links. I found him on Twitter, by the way, and he is definitely involved there. So if you're on Twitter, check out Janeric. You know, I love this kid. So here is Shayna Santiago.
How and why did you start your music journey?
Well, I'd say, well, when I was younger, I always liked singing. I always liked writing, and not going like too far younger. I'm talking about like elementary school. I started beatboxing, I started singing, and all that stuff. I liked writing, and I'd say more towards middle school is when I started singing more. I started getting more into it, but I didn't start recording. It was more in high school. I started writing more and singing again, and actually recording videos on my phone. And that was probably the new thing that I started, which was recording it on my phone. And basically, when I started graduating, was actually when I started recording on a mic and actually making songs, making music up till this day. Which I basically started recording music in 2019 to 2000. Right now, 2023. What makes me want to do it though, is that I don't know. I just feel like it's a way to put my energy into, release it into, like just music and all that and the sound, and it all just really makes me happy. It keeps me moving. I listen to music every single day. I make songs every day. Writing lyrics wise, I don't record them all the time. I just really enjoy it. It's like fascinating to me. I also like the artistry. I like other artists too. I like everything about music, even the fashion behind it, everything about music, like just basically everything, all different types of genres. I like doing all different types of genres. I basically like the sound of music. I am music.
And I definitely noticed that you have a great, unique style. Do you have any influences?
Thank you. And I definitely have a lot of influences. I feel like we all do. There's definitely a huge majority of people that I influenced by in some sort of way, and then I take that, I get inspired by it, and then I form it into my own sound. Really, that's it. I don't copy anyone. I don't try to be like anyone. I try to be like me, generic. And to be honest with you, I'd say people, if you want, say that I'm influenced by a lot that I was not influenced, but I'd say that I looked up to in some sort of way in the music industry, or like that in the music industry wise. And mainly because that I could probably relate to some key stuff and parts about them, and that was huge to me. That was like very important to me and sat there a certain way for me. It wasn't just like little shit. Anyways, I'd say it definitely would probably be like X, Juice World, Lil Peep, and people like that. Definitely more X, people like that to this day. And I'm talking about that's more personality though wise. When it comes down to like writing lyrics and stuff like that, writing lyrics, I'd say really just came from me. I probably like every artist. Going back then, I probably like people like Kurt Cobain, Freddie Mercury, John Lennon, etc. I really listen to almost everyone. I'm really, up to date on that. There is a lot of artists that I haven't listened to yet, but I'm pretty up to date on that. I know a lot of artists and all the different styles of genres. But of course, I miss a few.
I recall you telling me about your vocal skills and that you can be heard in your track. Is that true?
Like a lot of artists, I mean, trying to be like what I'm trying to be, yeah. Definitely I could hear that behind, the sound, like a lot of artists that made it, you could hear their sound. I could definitely hear that mine is there. And it's not only about like how it sounds and all that, it's about what it gives out, the feeling it gives, and hopefully that it could help other people on whatever I'm talking about, of course. Whatever and how they want to take it, whether if it's like helping them get through the day, anything they're really doing, working out, playing video games, it doesn't matter, chilling, vibing, sleeping, it's up to you, as long as it's positive for you.
Who and what 3 styles of music are on your own future wish list for collaborative projects?
Well, I'd say like my genre will always, I wouldn't always say I wouldn't say that I pick a genre, and specifically, like, yes, of course, you listen to my music, you're gonna be like, okay, this is rock, and stuff like that. But I more like to just go with how it feels. That's more the vibe that I go through, and that's always gonna change. Every year, there's gonna be some new type of me, So with my project that I come out with, or whatever I'm coming out with, it's whatever I'm dealing with at the moment on the other side of me, not the other side that most people see, the other side of me that nobody really sees. So that's the part that goes out into my music. Nobody really sees that side. And so basically, I'd say in the future, it's definitely going to probably stay the same. I'm always going to implicate, rock. I love rock and probably almost every style of it. I like indie a lot, like indie rock. I do like hip hop. I like the fact that you could do hip hop, trap, and then rock mixed together. I like that style too. I like that genre. I like alternative rock, really just things added on with rock. I love classical, and I also love ambience and lo-fi. Those are also some of my other favorites. I love jazz. Like, you go back, I just really listen to everything, but definitely the few first ones are the ones that I definitely will always stick with. And that's just how it's always going to be. I just love music, and I just love rock. And rock has a huge history. Not saying none of the others do. That's just the history that I, lean more towards.
Would you ever consider focusing on doing vocal type mastering for other artists? What I mean is more or less audio engineering the vocal portion of others behind the scenes.
Repeat that one more time.
No worries. Would you ever consider focusing on doing vocal type mastering for other artists?
So like mastering their vocals, mixing their vocals?
Correct. So what I mean by is more or less audio engineering the vocal portion of others behind the scenes.
Oh.
Other artists, behind the scenes.
In the future?
Correct.
So definitely, for sure, like being some sort of producer or like a director, producer, like towards and helping other artists, kind of like people like Kanye these days, like they sit behind them and they help a lot of other artists, like Pharrell Williams, there's so many artists that do it. John Bellion, all these artists, and they'll sit behind and they'll be like behind the scenes about it, and you won't hear them in the song. You won't even hear their yeah. Definitely, I could see myself doing that because I'm more word-spoken and I could explain things a lot better versus the things I can't really hands-on do sometimes, or maybe I can't do it in the time being, or maybe I just don't have the patience for it. Sometimes like some people really, but there's people out there that do, and sometimes they need like a coach. So definitely, yes, I could see myself doing that. I enjoy. I've done it before actually. But it was mainly for my music and maybe where some other people, were there with me, doing it with me, helping me. But other than that, I've never, really came up for a whole, clean out idea for someone else, song-wise. Did I try? Yeah. Did it go, finish, being made? No. So definitely in the future, I would definitely like to do that too. As long as still make my own projects and still do that, yeah. But I also like to include other people in too. So if they have ideas, that's fine, throw them in. throw them in. I don't mind. I'm the type of person that likes to implicate other people's ideas, especially like I'm not a whiz, so like sometimes I'm not gonna have an idea at that point, maybe in that music video or in that point in that song, and I just need someone else's mind for a second. And if it sounds good to me, and I'm like, you know what, okay, I'll add it in. So definitely, for sure, yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you, actually. I really appreciate it. You already know. I'm Janeric.
Bye. Thank you.
You still on?
I am.
I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. Upcoming artist. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my boy, Janeric, and I hope you guys really got a lot from that interview that Shania, I'm sorry, honey, I ruined your name. Those were some difficult questions that I think, if I remember correctly, I was rambling with Janeric one day, ranting and raving over the telephone or something, and I think I gave those questions, I might have, and I'm sorry if it confused you a little bit, but that was what I was gonna get at if I were to be able to just interview Janeric here, in the studio, and he's down in West Palm right now. So, I wanted everybody out there to really get an idea of how willing this vocalist is to collaborate with other artists. You've heard a little bit of his talent through that one jam that we listened to in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to play it again at the end, but, he's talking about working with people that are in different genres, and the willingness to do that is what we're trying to really advocate here at FX2 Studios. It's just that much easier for artistry to manifest itself when we all start working together, and then hopefully, a unification of people around the world will happen as well, really big into that. Also, I think that we're in a tough time as a planet, not just as a country, as a planet. We speak to people, I do anyway, around the globe, and we ask them the same questions that we ask ourselves, which is, the state of the world where we're in right now, and it's pretty fucked up. It's chaos, but there's times where maybe you need a little nicotine. Ooh, and with that, we're going to listen to Janeric one more time. I thank all of you guys for tuning in. Definitely check out his Twitter and check out all the other episode bios that we have listed. Check out the website and sign up, please, so you're up to date with all these new artists that can definitely help in collaborating, or you can hook up with. Like I said last time, we're trying to get formation for all of you musicians out there to possibly do some live events and stuff. And here's an opportunity to start getting in touch with people, and it's absolutely free. Just go on the website, just sign up. It's free. Sign up. We're not going to bombard you with emails, I'll tell you that right now, because I'd be the one sending them out. So maybe once a month. I'm really bad at that shit. So, don't think that I'm going to flood your email box. That shit don't happen here. Anyway, thank you, Janeric. Thank you for taking the time to, let us get a backstage look into your life. I really enjoy doing this for that reason, and for the reasons that you all know about. It's all about the music. It's all about getting positive vibes out there and unification throughout genres of music. It really doesn't fucking matter. We're all human beings in the end, right? One world, one love. It's FX2. Peace out, motherfucker.